Hello guys, welcome to episode 1 of Multicraft Hardcore. And I was suffocating in a tree. So therefore I chopped it down to show it that I meant business. But yeah, I already spawned inside of the tree. I'm not sure how where that is, but anywho, I took the wood and some of the stuff that I already spawned in with to make a crafting table. And then to go down into the caves and get some stone. Now before we continue with this, I wanted to say, hopefully you guys have subscribed to their channel. We're at 600 subscribers. And I wanted to say thank you for that. And also, if you haven't subscribed yet, then you should. At least in my opinion. But I think you should subscribe. It'd be very nice. But anyway, here I am getting the stone in my fist. I didn't want to make a stone, wooden pickaxe for this because I'm just mining stone. And you can mine pretty much anything with your fist. It just takes a while to mine some stuff. That including stone. Stone takes a little while to mine with your fist, but since I have fists of steel, I can just mine stone, no problem. Because I have fists of steel. Yeah, I almost have enough to craft the stone tools, and then we can venture out into the wild. Not really a good omen though that I spawned inside of a tree, suffocated, using a couple of bits of health. That's not bad. That's not a good omen whatsoever. But hopefully we'll be fine. And anyway, I got enough wood to make my not wood. I got enough stone to make my tools. My bad. I cannot speak today. Yep, I have made my tools. I also decided to make a farming stick, even though that's not what it's actually called. But I decided to make that anyway because it's really hard to get food in this game, so the only really good way to get food is by wheat seeds. Now, luckily, seeds are really easy to get, so I'll probably be collecting them throughout the game, throughout when we explore a little bit. And I also got some stone to make a furnace, just in case we do find food that we need to cook. Eventually, in the future, I would like to get a bunch of mobs inside a pen and just basically make an animal farm. But for now, I think we're gonna have to only get seeds and make a crop farm for now. And I climb back out of the hole and I look around in my beautiful, well, I guess kind of beautiful world. But then I just started chopping down a tree, and sure enough, I decided to chop down the rest of the tree. I can't just leave it stand there. And then it started raining in this game, which means it was gonna be very wet and cold, which is not fun at all. But luckily I was underneath the tree, so I wasn't really getting wet. And eventually I'm gonna have to make shelter though. Especially since a little spoil before for part of the video ended up also bundling. So yeah, this is also not good, but yeah, I'm gonna have to make a shelter pretty soon. Because it's gonna be wet, cold, and disgusting. I continue chopping down the tree. These trees are really nice, but they're also kind of hard to chop down. I saw a bird out of nowhere, and then all of a sudden I saw a dog. I saw DM. I used to believe it was DM. Which, if you guys don't know, it's a kind of a thing that I made as a joke and everything, and now it's an actual thing I do now. Every time I see a dog in this game, and like any game, I have to say, "Oh, DM is back." Cause it was originally a name for a pet I had in some other game that I named DM after my mom. But anywho, besides that, I collect grass so I can get some seeds. I debated on having DM just let me kill him so I can get bones, but I know she would not like that. To be fair, she probably wouldn't mind if it meant helping me, and well, DM doesn't really mind that. I'm sure the dogs don't really mind that. They'll come back anyway, but I decided not to. I'm not gonna need bones right away anyway. So I decided to chop down another tree. So I can get more fuel or whatever I'm gonna need it for. Especially if I'm gonna be making a house already. I'm gonna need the wood. Not gonna need too much, but I'm gonna need some wood for this, for the job. And, well, we did pretty good, I would say. So far, actually, it was way easier to chop than the Yassin. The Yassin was way taller than this one. However, we gotta get more wood now. Now, the only thing we really need a lot of is food, because we have, like, no food. And dogs don't drop any food, they only drop bones. Which are useful, bones are really useful, don't get me wrong, but not really what we need. However, I decided to explore around more, and hopefully find a spot we can settle down in. Or find like a cave or something, somewhere, just somewhere where we can chill out in. Especially in this cold rain. Cold rain and thunder. I also decided to turn up my low distance. I wanted to see if the no-clip feature actually works so I could cheat, but a no-clip obviously doesn't work as single player. I should have known that, but I wanted to test it out to see if it actually works, but obviously it doesn't. Plain as me. There's a lot of flowers here, but not really like a blue flower. I usually have to collect a blue flower to make blue dye, so when I make a... So when I get a bunch of wool and everything, I can make a blue bed, but... There's like no blue flowers anywhere, and either way, there's no sheep spawning for miles. We're not gonna get sheep anytime soon. I really doubt we're gonna get really any mob anytime soon. The only mobs that are probably gonna come across our way a little bit is like zombies. However, even they don't spawn that much. However, I decided to continue harvesting the grass to get seeds. I got a decent amount of seeds. I also saw a different seed I got by accident. Went to look in it, and it's a carrot seed. I got a carrot seed out of that by accident. Which wasn't something I was expecting, but I used to have a carrot. Or we can have a carrot. It's carrot food source. Not as good as bread, but bread's way better. But to be fair, we can also use the carrots that we grown to also, you know, tame like different animals to get more meat. I saw this yog on the ground, I don't know when I decided to harvest it too. With the mushroom on top. Even though those red mushrooms are inedible. If you eat those mushrooms, it'll just give you poison and it will not be a fun time, trust me. I got more seeds. Pretty easy way to get seeds, you just harvest the grass. And it's yeah, grass everywhere, because well, you know, it's grass. You gotta spawn everywhere, it's grass. Except if you're in the snow. If you're in the snow, it's not gonna spawn, but thank God I didn't spawn there. As I was doing all that, I saw a chicken, and I killed it. And I got a piece of meat out of that. I got a whole chicken out of that. Which will definitely be good food. As you can see, I'm starting to run out of hunger too, which will definitely also help this, having chicken. And I also saw a pumpkin I also decided to harvest. And over ahead, I didn't notice it yet. I didn't notice it until after I was done crafting. But I found a new biome. It is a swamp biome. Which is also not going to help my situation because it's also even more wet. Because it's a swamp and it has mud everywhere. But I had a plan. I had a plan to turn this into, like, make it not into a swamp. I feel like I could transform it and make it not into a swamp. So I decided to make my home here. No matter how counterintuitive it was. Also, I found a cave, so I can just hang out down in the cave. It's a little bit drier here. There's a amount of mud everywhere, but over here it's pretty nice. There is a cave, so I'm gonna have to block it off to keep the mobs outside, keep the mobs like from getting me. So I did that. Built a wall to make so the mobs cannot get me. Take a moment to enjoy the wonderful sounds of the rain, even though the rain actually does stop. The rain does appear to be slowing down, so... Even though I'm nearly already in the cave. I have a furnace right here I can always use to cook my stuff, and I can also heat up, warm myself up a little bit with it. I also have torches that are just in my inventory, so... In case you guys don't know, in Multicraft Golden Mine, in single player survival world, you just get like a couple of stuff automatically. You get 32 wood, you get an iron sword, and you get torches for some reason. I don't know why that's a thing, but hey, I'll take it. I'll take my free wool supplies. But yep, I cooked my chicken, I ate it, and it filled me up really good. I'm still gonna have to find a good, reliable source of food, though. There is a giant pond out there, like, of giant green water. Hopefully I can use that to, grow my seeds. Maybe we'll see if that works in episode 2 of this hardcore series. We'll see. I do plan on making a home and just exploring around and everything a bit more before I do episode 2. But don't worry, I'll let you guys know if I find anything while I'm exploring it, when I explore it off camera. In the next episode. Yep, it has become nighttime and the rain appears to have stopped. As I'm in the cave, as I settle down into the cave, the rain stops. How garbage is that? To be fair, everything's still gonna be soaking wet though, because, well, we're in a swamp. Since when has a swamp ever been dry? That's right, nowhere. By the way, I also completely yeeted that flippin' red mushroom because no one wants you. No one yikes you, red mushroom. No one. You can go back in the fire where you belong. Or in this case, you can go back in the mud where you belong. But I'll start cooking most of my pumpkin. Most of my pumpkin's all pretty much done cooking. Had to use any tiny bit of fuel that I have just to cook this. And that includes having to use up a little bit of my wood. Sadly. I still have wood to spare, and obviously, you know, this is, you know, buying this wood everywhere, so... Even in the swamp, there's a lot of wood I can grab. So we should be fine to make an actual pretty decent house here. Hopefully there'll be glass nearby so I can make some windows, but if not, then that's okay too. We can just make a box. It's fine if we can just make a box too. I debated on keeping the furnace up, but I decided to just, you know, get rid of it. This torch is pretty warming up place anyway, so pretty warmer down here, especially with the rain stopping. And even though it's nighttime and the mobs will spawn, I feel kind of safe. And I have a torch, so that's even better. And I have 7 more in my inventory, so there's that. I debated on what I was gonna do next. However, I decided that this would be the end of this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in another one. Bye, guys!